Right. Let's start off with sitting because I think recentering and just coming back to ourselves as the world starts to open up is a really good idea today. We are all running around a little bit more than we have done, I guess, for the last 18 months, 2 years. And we're not used to it anymore. We've become a bit more hermit-like. We've become a bit more, we've become quieter, and now we're being noisy again, and it's quite tiring. So let's sit down. Sit bones dropping down, relax the pelvis. Try and relax your legs as well. I know that's not so easy because you kind of feel like you need them to be sitting up. But where you can, just give them your attention and relax your belly. Just notice your breath, but not controlling it right now, just noticing. And lifting the crown of your head up towards the ceiling. So lovely, long spine stretching up, lifting up. See if you can do that without bringing any tension into your shoulders. So relax shoulders, relax jaw. It's a real push and pull. So trying to pull up and at the same time getting everything to relax. And start to breathe into your belly now. So taking that breath right down into your belly. And as you breathe in, noticing how your torso changes in shape. And even in size. As you breathe in, expanding your rib cage. And our breath has become more important than ever. We're so much more aware of all the restrictions that can happen, especially once you've been unwell. And now more than ever, it's important to exercise breath and practice breath work. Keep that part of the body strong and fully functional. So really stretching the lungs. Take that breath right down into the bottom of your belly, into the sides of your body, into the back, right into the front. Let it lift your heart center, lift your sternum up. And as you breathe out, letting it all come back down to a state of rest, but still keeping that length in the spine. So let's take 2 breaths here, breathing in through the nostrils and out through the mouth. Well done. And when your mind starts to wander, bring it back to the breath. Bring it back to any physical sensation in your body. Okay, so we're going to just do 3 breaths together now. But with each breath, when you breathe in, get to a point where you feel completely full of breath, and then try and put in 2 more little breaths. So here we go, like this. Completely full. And exhale. And exhale just noisily, completely without any control. Just let the breath go. As if you just let go of a balloon. So we're going to breathe in and then in, and then let it all go. So we'll do that 3 times together. Okay, let's go together now. Breathing in. And as you breathe out, let your cheeks puff out. Let your body just slump. And then to breathe in is when we bring back that length in the spine. So breathing in now. And last one. Don't forget the in at the end. Okay, let's inhale the arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Take your hands forward, bring them down to the floor. Press your hands into the floor. Feel the whole of your palm, fingers. Press the fingertips in. Press your thumb in. Push the flat of your hand down. Let your head drop. Relax your neck. Relax your shoulders. Relax your arms. If your forearms want to come down to the ground, bring them down to the ground. Just gently rounding through the back, waking up all the organs inside our torso, just giving them a little squeeze, starting that energy moving in the body as we begin our practice. And keep breathing easily in and out. And gently bring your hands back. So just draw them back. So we're going to come straight down to lying on our mat. So take yourself down to belly on the mat. I guess we could have come down more interestingly, but hey, let's just stay up here. So arms, or forearms on the mat, elbows in towards your chest, fingers and palms flat to the mat, and your face looking forward. So imagine that you're a sphinx. So we need to send the heart center forward. So send your heart center forward. At the same time, draw your shoulders back just a little. Bring your shoulder blades towards each other. And now feel as if you can push down into your hands, your forearms. And at the same time, draw your elbows back towards your hips. They're not going to move. They're firmly flat, pressed to the mat. But that sensation of drawing back allows you to bring your chest forward. Can you feel that across your chest? Bring your shoulders back a little more. Send your chin forward. Your gaze is slightly upwards. And don't forget to breathe. And then we're going to come from here down back to the mat again. So bring yourself down. Take your hands to the side and your arms to the side. Allow your hands to rest palm upwards and bring your right cheek to the mat. Notice any sensations in your back, in your lower back, in your mid back. And we're going to come from here into Bhujangasana, into Cobra. So take your hands either side of your chest. Bring your head back so that your nose is touching the mat. And then keeping your elbows in, keeping your shoulders up and your shoulder blades drawn together. Gently lift your head and look forward. That's all we're doing right now. Just lift the head. Press the tops of your feet into the mat and your knees and your thighs and your hips. And as you do that, start to tense the muscles in your back and lift up. So we're lifting up using the muscles in the back, the muscles in your legs, squeezing everything. So you feel like there's big tension going on in there, all along the back of your body. Can you feel that around your ribs, in your mid-back? How much you lift up is completely up to you. But you can make that sensation really strong by squeezing all those muscles as hard as you possibly can. And then let's release. This time, take your left cheek to the mat. Release your arms beside you. And take a breath here. Okay, back to Bhujangasana. So hands either side of the chest again, nose to the mat, so that your head is centered, elbows pointing out behind you. And then let's do that same motion again. So we're taking the shoulders broad, lifting the chin, squeezing all the muscles in your legs, in your back, lifting up. Can you lift a little higher this time? Do you have a little more lift there? And when you get to a point where that's it, you can't go any further, Start to bring your arms into this equation here, pushing so that you feel your biceps. You can feel your forearms. Push, push gently. And then try not to curve the lower back too much. Keep some length in the body. Keep your shoulders wide. Keep squeezing your glutes. Push your pelvis into the mat. And bring yourself up as far as is comfortable. And here you should be able to breathe freely and easily. We're going to hold here for 5. So squeeze those glutes. 5, 4, relax your shoulders, relax your jaw. 3, 2, and 1. From here, we're going to push back into Balasana. So allow yourself to come forward a little. Excuse me, tuck your knees under and bring your torso to rest on your thighs. Reaching forward with your arms, a nice counter pose here. So hips to heels. Adjust yourself so that you can move back so that you have contact between your heels and your hips. And then from here, we'll come up into cat and cow. So take a nice deep breath in. And bring yourself to your lovely tabletop position. So pulling the belly gently in, keeping that torso all active, switched on. And push the tops of your feet into the mat. Make your shoulders broad, neck is long. And then we'll come into cat and cow. So do this with your breath. Let's do this together. You've done this lots of times before. So take your belly down to the mat, hips up, head up. On an inhale and then exhale. Coming into cat. Inhale. Now move at your own pace with your own breath. Keep going, make that movement really smooth and fluid. Concentrate on making it as effortless, as poetic as you possibly can. It's a beautiful movement. Last one. And well done. So we're going to come from here into Sarvangasana. Take your knees together. Take your hands a little further forward. And then sit back. Bring your chest as close to the mat as you can. So your hips are up in the air. Your arms are stretched out. We're opening up under the arms. And then we're going to draw back. So bring your hips down towards your heels. Bring your arms behind you so that they can hold on to your heels. So you've got your right hand cupping your right heel, your left hand cupping your left heel. Tuck your chin to your chest. Bring your head curling round. So you can take the crown of your head to the mat. You might need to adjust, so come away from your thighs a little. And then pop your head back down, as close to your knees as is comfortable for you. And then feeling that nice strong connection between the top of your head and the mat. Holding onto your heels. You're going to lift your bottom up into the air. So lift now.
You'll get to a point where your arms are stretched out so you can't move any further. And here you are in rabbit pose, Sarvangasana. So we're stretching out some muscles in the back of the neck. Don't put too much weight onto your head. You're making your thighs work here. And you're able to stretch across the tops of your shoulders, drawing the shoulder blades away from each other. Hold tight onto those heels. And breathe. And then gently coming back down to the mat. Stay in Balasana for a moment here. And breathe. Enjoy that sensation of not having any restrictions on the top of your head. Excuse me. Having trouble breathing. So there we go, Balasana. And then we're going to come up to some standing poses. So take your hands either side of your knees, push yourself up and come into a squat. Any way that works for you. If you want to jump into your squat, go ahead and jump. So we're up on toes. Come on to a balancing squat. And actually, before we go up into standing, we're going to come into a gate pose, Padikasana. So we will come back to kneeling in a moment. But let's just stretch out the whole of the bottom of the foot on the left and the right. Plus, we're also doing a bit of a balance, which is always good. If you want to challenge yourself, you can take your arms up a little. Try and tilt your pelvis forward so that you're not sticking your bum out. Just adding to the challenge. And of course, don't forget your pelvic floor. This is a great position to really think about lifting the pelvic floor, pulling the belly in. And let's come down. Ankles might be starting to get a little bit tired now. So we're going to come into Padikasana. Bring your knees back down to the mat and release your feet out. So feet are flat to the floor behind you. So we're going to take the weight into the right knee and right leg and take the left leg out to the side. So left leg comes out to the side. Toes are pointing forwards. Think about your hips now. They might be that they're slightly tilted backwards. Bring them forward. We want some length and stretch down the right thigh. And we're just opening up on the left side here. And then we're going to take the arms up on an inhale. And then on an exhale, tilt over. Try to keep your arms in line until you find that leg, maybe, hopefully. And then we can extend by turning the palm of the extended right arm that's up and then bringing it slightly up and over. Oh, what a nice stretch. That's amazing. Can you feel that all the way? Probably from your elbow, maybe even higher, right down. Opening up, stretching, and at the same time, we've got a bit of opening up and stretching going on with the legs as well. Gate pose, Padikasana. And have you got a bit more stretch? Have you got a bit more lift? And the way to make it a strength pose is to not put too much weight onto the left hand. I'm putting lots of weight onto the left hand today because I have not been 100%. I'm going very easy. And then we're going to lift up and come out. I don't know about you, but that always feels like it's just opened up that entire side of the body. So let's bring the left knee back
And we'll give the same opportunity to the left side of the body. So take the right knee out, right leg out, right foot out. Toes pointing forward. And take it out to wherever it's comfortable, but try and stay upright on your left leg. So we don't want to be over at an angle here. And leg is straight. And you can lock that leg now. Because normally we're very, don't lock your leg, don't lock your leg. So lock it. And then let's take the arms up on an inhale. And on an exhale, over to the right this time. And lifting up a little more, taking the fingertips to the ceiling, and then over. Making sure that your pelvis is where it's supposed to be. Well done. This is, I mean, it doesn't look like much, but it's a very strong pose. Try and feel that stretch. And if you feel yourself curling around, just try and imagine that you're bringing your left shoulder blade behind you. So taking it behind you a little bit more. And you might notice that as you move that couple of millimeters, you feel more of a stretch around your left hip. This one is great actually if you have problems with your hips, as long as, well, the hips are complicated, so problems can come in all sorts of different muscle groups or individual muscles or inflammation in various parts. So it's probably not great for all hip issues, but it's quite a gentle way of stretching. And let's come back up. And up and up. Well done. Come back down. Let's bring that knee in. So there we go, Parigasana. So let's come back into our squat again. However that works. This time, let's try and keep the legs wide. And we'll sink between them so that as we go into it, we'll be quite mobile. So let's move. I seem to have moved my mat all over the place. It's definitely more stable having mat on the floor than it is on a carpet. It likes to travel. So let's just move. And again, that's helping to lubricate those huge, amazing hip joints. So much movement, so much possibility there. So taking the right knee down and then bringing it up and taking the left knee down. At the same time, we're working the ankles. And there's a little bit of balance in there too, especially if you want to challenge yourself and bring your arms up off the ground into Cossack pose, not strictly a yoga pose, and then bring yourself to center. So bringing yourself to center, bring your body between your legs. So we're really taking them out quite far. We might not get a chance to come into Baddha Konasana today, so this is a very good alternative. Although it works slightly differently, we're still opening up in the pelvis and opening up the hips. And you can use your elbows to push out, so coming into a little bit of a Malasana version. And then we're going to come up from here. So let's come up into a chair pose. Because why not? Let's give those legs a bit of a workout. So take the arms up and then gently, with control, bringing yourself up into chair. So tempting to just keep with that movement and keep moving upwards to completely upright, isn't it? But no, let's challenge the thighs. Those knees, a little bit of work to do. Try and make sure that your weight is not always completely into the balls of your feet,
or the heels in this posture. See if you can find that lovely midpoint where you feel your weight is dropping down right through the middle of your foot. And come up to standing. Well done. So I think it's time for a little bit of Garudasana. Eagle pose, although Garuda isn't originally the word for eagle. It was meant I've completely lost my train of thought. I'm trying to talk and move at the same time. So let me just describe how we're going to do this asana. It's probably the safest way to go. I got sidetracked on Garuda being Vishnu's vehicle and all those wonderful tales, but let's drop the weight down into the left leg. And then let's cross the right leg over. And it really helps if you can tuck your toes behind. It's kind of like you're desperate to go for a wee. You're about 3 years old or whatever, 6 years old maybe. Okay, so there we go. This is an asymmetrical pose. So we are going to, if I can get my lefts and rights sorted, we're going to take the left arm under and the right arm on top, and then put the palms of the hands together, a bit like in Gomukhasana, and then sink down. Now you really do need to find a spot somewhere to stare at to try and anchor yourself so that you can balance here. And it's so much about strength as well. And breathe, and breathe, and breathe. And lift your elbows and sink a little lower with the hips. And release. So chair pose is a really good warm-up for that. Although it is quite unique. So let's take the weight into the right side now. Ready? Left leg comes over. That interesting cross again. Tuck the toes if you can. If you can't, that's okay too. And then this time we need to have, what are we having? The other way around. Okay, so left arm comes underneath and right arm comes up. Something like that. It's not the end of the world if the arms and legs are not exactly right. And breathe. Totally losing it today. Isn't it amazing how sometimes our balance is just absolutely solid and other times it's just such a challenge. So it's a huge challenge for me today. But you carry on and hold, 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 hold. Hold. One more breath. And well done. Let's come out. And let's take a nice deep breath in with the arms up and exhale, fold forward. Easy forward bend. Uttanasana. So cross your arms. Allow your head to be completely relaxed. Allow your arms and your head to gently pull your body forward and over. And let's give ourselves time here to really get the benefit of having that inversion, having the blood flow change slightly. And lift your kneecaps up towards your hips. Notice how you're distributing your weight. And try and control your breath so that you slow it down a little. Okay, one more breath here before we start to move again. So we're going to gently come up. Allow your hands and your head to come up last, uncurling slowly to rise up. And then come all the way up, bring yourself up onto your tiptoes. So tall as you can, lift your arms up as well. Whoops. Lift, 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 lift. And lift your chest, lift your shoulders, lift your fingertips. Have you got any more movement there? Can you go a little higher? Any higher? A couple more millimeters. And then come back down. Well done. Take your legs out to the sides. We're going to come from here into a bit of a triangle. So we're really nicely warmed up for the triangle. Hips are relaxed, but they're not tilted either way. So try and make sure that they're neutral and not tipping forward or backwards. Shoulders are broad and relaxed. And relax your face as well. And then let's take the right foot to point the toes forward. Take the arms out to the side on an in-breath. And on an out-breath, let's come over to the side. Into our triangle pose. And as you always do in this one, try and not put lots of weight onto this hand, onto the right hand and the right leg. You can if you need to, of course, but if you can manage, then just a little pressure on the outside edge of your hand against your leg is hopefully enough. And at the same time, you want to keep that distance and that straight line between your hands, right hand and the left hand, so that you don't find yourself coming forward or maybe even going backwards. People tend to go forward more than backwards. So, and breathe. Are you sticking your bum out? Can you tuck it back in a bit? Are you smiling? And then let's lift up and out and straight over to the other side. So just change the feet. Right foot comes back, left foot pointing forward. Watch what's going on with your hips and your shoulders. Maybe they're trying to go up towards the ceiling. And then let's turn. Let's not turn. Let's slide even, and then we'll tilt. Definitely having a language problem this morning. Thank you for bearing with me. And lifting up with the left hand now. Right hand is just pressing gently against the foot, or leg rather. And breathe. Watch what's happening with your hips and your shoulders. Make sure that you're all in a nice straight line. And we're going to come into a little bit of east and west in a moment. Purvottanasana and Paschimottanasana. East facing pose and west facing pose. So let's lift to come out. So somebody's holding your right hand and pulling you up gently and back to center. Stay here with the legs wide. Let's come into Prasarita Padottanasana, which is exactly where we are right now. And then all we do is just tilt forward, bring the shoulders forward, bring the head forward, and then tuck your head so that you're all in line. So chin isn't to chest. The gaze is just directly in front of you towards the floor. So send your bottom back. Feel that strength in your feet as you hold on. Can you lengthen your back
You know, when we were sitting right at the beginning, that length you had in your spine, that feeling of lifting all the way from your pelvis up to the crown of your head. Bring that same feeling in now. Make your spine long, make your shoulders broad. You feel that in the backs of your thighs. Try not to lock your legs. Really tempting to lock the legs in Pasarita Padottasana. So just a little bit of a bend, lifting your belly up in towards your spine. Well done. And then bring your hands to the mat. Allow your whole body to just relax as you take some weight into the palms of your hands, into your arms. And then let's walk the feet in. You know, one thing we haven't done yet today is downward facing dog. So that cannot happen. We have to have a downward facing dog in there. So let's come into downward facing dog right now. Set yourself up in your perfect alignment, whatever is right for you, for your body's proportions, for how you are today, right now, right here, this moment. Sending your sit bones upwards, making length between the heels and your hips, making length between your wrists and your hips. Relaxing your head, relaxing your jaw, shoulders wide, belly tucked in, and breathing. Breathing, breathing, breathing. And then we're going to look towards your hands and step or jump forwards. Bring us up to sitting. Take your legs out. So we're coming into Paschimottanasana. So let's inhale up and exhale, fold. Inhale and exhale. Sit here with this asana for a few breaths. And as you move, you breathe. As you breathe, you move. Try and bring yourself back to those deep, deep breaths that we did right at the beginning together. And do what's right for you. You're either rounding or you're keeping the back straight, up to you. Maybe you'd like to do a combination. Last 2 breaths here. Okay, let's bring ourselves up. So that is west facing pose. Now we're going to go into east facing pose. Take your hands just behind you, fingers pointing towards your hips and fingertips towards your hips. Bring your shoulder blades together, and gently drawing them together. And then we're going to push the toes away and lift the hips. So lift up, push your toes down towards the mat and lift your hips. So there's different variations. If this doesn't feel comfortable, then bend your knees and you come into what looks like a reverse tabletop position. If you're okay with this, this is version 2, if you like. And if that works, then you have a little bit of a back bend here as well. And we send the chest up and lift the hips up even more. And this is east facing pose. So come into whatever variation suits you for today. And we're not going to hold here very long. Bring yourself back down. And then we're going to gently
Roll down to the mat. Bring your knees into your chest and give them a hug. Give them a rock from side to side. So let's take the legs up towards the ceiling. And let's stretch up. So send your heels up as high as you can, toes towards your face. Can you bring your toes closer to you? Can you send your heels further away? And then let's take the right knee into the chest. So holding on just above your shin, the left leg starts its journey down towards the ground, nice and slow. So really pulling that right thigh in. We're massaging the internal organs here. Not above the knee, just above the shin. And the left leg still working, slowly moving down towards the mat. This is a brilliant asana for any digestive issues. If you've overeaten, if you're feeling a bit sick, come and try this. Do 3 or 4 rounds. So left leg almost to the ground, and then slowly, gently back up again. Take your attention to your breath. And notice how you have been breathing. Are you breathing in and out through your nostrils? Are you breathing in and out through your mouth? Are you using both? And let's switch legs. So bring the left leg in or at your own pace. When you are ready to come into the swapping around, go ahead and do that. Just noticing if you are controlling your breath or if your breath is just coming and going. Just taking your attention there. And scanning around your body to see which bits feel like they need a bit more of a stretch, which bits are complaining today, which bits are on strike, which bits have run out of fuel, which bits have had too much fuel or the wrong kind of fuel. And trying to do all of that without regret, without judgment, without criticism, just loving acceptance. Because what is, and we're not going to change that right this second. And bringing in the negative feelings doesn't help. And then bringing that leg all the way back up, nice and slow. And when you're ready, both knees into the chest. And rock from side to side. And then let's find the feet. So find your feet. It's time for a little bit of happy baby. Let's finish on a happy note. So hands just tucked on the outside edge of each foot. So right hand, right foot, left hand, left foot. And then let's have a little play. So use your hands to stretch through the hips. You can straighten the legs, bend the legs, move them around wherever you want. Just got that nice connection. And try and do the same on each side. Whatever you do on one side, do on the other side. It's not so much that one yoga session, if you do things in an imbalanced way, is going to make all the difference in the world. It just helps reset the mind into remembering that if we favor one side all the time, it will grow stronger, and which will mean that the other side grows weaker. And we just become out of balance. It sets up other issues. Muscles have to do some compensating. It's better to stay balanced if you can. So have a lovely play and happy baby. Just be that happy, carefree baby for a moment.
and have a play. Celebrate what you can do. And then bringing your knees into your chest again. A gentle rock from side to side. Let's come into our twist. We haven't done an awful lot of twisting today. Taking the arms out to the sides, take your knees out to one side. I'm going to the right first, whichever side, doesn't matter. Head comes over to the other side. And bring your head back to center. And your knees back to center. And briefly before they go over to the opposite side now. And then bring your head back to center. Legs back to center. One last hug. This time take your forehead up towards your knees. Curl up into a little ball. And then bring yourself into your Shavasana. So find what you need to be comfortable here. Make space for yourself. Take up space. Be comfortable. Be comfortable so that you are not distracted. You're not distracted from your relaxation here. And take your focus to your breath. When you have found your comfort in your body, and take your breath all the way down into your toes, into your legs, into your fingertips, into your arms, into your whole torso. Take your breath all the way around into the back of your head, around your scalp, and try and allow yourself to relax. Let your body be soft, feel completely supported by the earth. And take this time for yourself to recharge your batteries. Relax your feet. Relax your legs. Relax your calves, your knees, your thighs. Relax your hips. Relax your belly. Relax your chest. Relax your hands. Relax your forearms. Relax your upper arms. And relax your shoulders. Relax the whole of your spine and your throat and your neck. And relax your face. Relax the whole of your head. And with each breath, taking in energy and light and warmth and peace and calm. And with every out breath, letting go, if you need to, of anything that you're holding on to that no longer serves you. And breathing in Feel as though you're breathing in sunshine and warmth. Breathing out, just noticing what you need to let go of. And taking a nice deep breath in and out. And on your next breath, gently with your eyes closed, bringing yourself to rest on your right side. And still keeping your eyes closed, bringing yourself up to sitting. And taking your hands to heart center. Dropping your forehead down towards your hands. Open your eyes. Take a deep breath. And namaste. Thank you so much for joining me, for joining you, for joining your mind, body, and spirit all together. And I hope you have an amazingly wonderful, fabulous